Meanwhile, the Philippines continues to gain momentum as one of the emerging economies of the world, given the sustained reports of growth and President Aquino's reform agenda scoring high in governance. How does the private sector take the series of good news in recent weeks for the country? And joining us tonight on the line is Mr. Guillermo Luz, Chairman of the National Competitiveness Council. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening.
Sir, President Aquino delivered a speech this morning before the business sector. He gave you a summary of the good news on the economy, the credit ratings upgrade, increased exports, and the confidence of our people in his fight against corruption. Sir, how did the business sector receive the President's report?
Well, the business community is obviously extremely happy with the fight against corruption being led by the President. And in fact, in the survey results of the SWS, the President topped the survey, on sincerity ratings in the fight against corruption with a net score of plus 81%. So that's an extremely high score.
Mm-hmm. Sir, there was also a survey conducted by the SWS. 800 business executives were interviewed, and the results were very positive. What's your take on this?
Well, I think it's a reflection of the efforts and the fruits of those efforts of the government in terms of putting in good governance measures and counter-corruption measures across the board. And what we're finding is that it's having an impact at the national government agency level, though clearly there's some lag of progress in the local government level. But definitely the top three agencies were Office of the President, Department of Health, and Department of Trade and Industry. Virtually all agencies exhibited improvements. Some agencies dropped a little bit, but most, maybe a few, including the Supreme Court and the COMELEC. Bureau of Customs was ranked at the bottom, but virtually every other agency among 25 agencies showed improvements from 2009 to 2012. So business community quite happy with that.
So is this an indication that there is a high level of trust by the business sector with the President's continued campaign against corruption?
Definitely, because what's being rated is the perception, the sincerity, and the experience with corruption. And on all fronts, the perception is a positive one. The sincerity ratings are positive, and the experience with corruption has been on the downtrend between 2009 and 2012. So all around, good marks for the government on the counter-corruption side of the performance.
And sir, we know that reforms is not a one-way street. With regards to the business sector, what reforms are you undertaking to ensure you complement what the government is doing?
Well, the business community is trying to expand the coverage of the integrity initiative and build up integrity practices in the business community. Unfortunately, the trend over the last 10 years has shown really very minimal change on the part of the business community. And in fact, greater change has been seen on the government side than on the business community side. So the business community will have to step up its efforts on the integrity initiative to make sure that it gains more traction in the business community.
Sir, going back to competitiveness, will this continue? Is there a need to be more aggressive in addressing the concerns of investors on the high cost of energy and improving the infrastructure of the country?
Absolutely. I mean, with competitiveness, one can never stop. The competition never sleeps. They never rest. They're always working for constant improvement. And we have to assume they're working very hard. So we have to work as hard, if not harder, than the competition. So on all fronts, this year we've been showing improvements, but we can never rest. We're coming from behind. We are playing a catch-up game here, and but we've got the momentum going our way right now. So now's the best time to move even faster, not only on the governance front, but as you mentioned, on the infrastructure side, on the investment policy side, education, primary health care, judiciary. On virtually every front, we have to push for improvement.
Sir, what other areas should be given more attention in your opinion?
Well, the major ones right now would be governance is one, infrastructure is the second, primary healthcare and primary education would be the third. Continued good macroeconomic performance, of course, we must maintain that. It's been doing well for the last 2 years, and we have to continue that. But the area where we have to begin to focus on is to streamline our bureaucratic procedures and cut red tape. The country is being graded very poorly by the investor community in terms of red tape, bureaucracy, too many procedures, too many steps, too much time to do anything, and we quite literally have to speed it up to the speed that we see other countries capable of doing. So I would say streamlining is going to be one of the key focus areas in the next 12 months.
Okay, on that note, thank you, sir, for joining us tonight. That was Mr. Guillermo Luz, Chairman of the National Competitiveness Council.